Hi everybody, welcome back to, where are we? LDRS Creative. I feel like I was just here. We just did a live last night actually for SCT Magazine over on their YouTube channel. So it does feel like I was just seated here doing kind of the same thing. But that's cool. Hey, 2 nights in a row. It's a bonus. Very, very cool. Hello to everybody who is coming in. I've seen a lot of names out there that I recognize, so thank you, friends, for joining us tonight. We've got Robin McCauley, Kathleen Finnegan, Beverly is here, and Beth Valone, and Brenda. Oh, Cindy Patty's here. Linda, Cheryl, Sherry Browning, she was our winner it was last week, right? Or was that last night? I'm getting it all confused. I think it may have been last night. It's all running in my head. So welcome, Sherry. Sheila Fisher, hi girl. Angela is here as well, and Donna and Lori from Kalkaska, Michigan. We haven't been to Kalkaska. We should go. That's a part of Michigan you haven't seen before. It's a little ways away, but it'd be a nice trip. Who else is here? Terry Daniel is here, and Donna, Carolyn Barnard. Let's see. Yes, Sherry says it was last night. So thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I still see names scrolling here. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Angel's here. I'm here, she says. All right, so everybody, you know the format. We're going to be making a card tonight. We're going to have some fun, maybe learn some new techniques. I'm going to be working with the latest little class kit that we put out there on the website. And what else? Oh, at the end, we're going to have a giveaway. Yay. Always good to have a giveaway. And I should show this off in case, if anybody out there is a Disney fan, we still go to Disney. We started going to Disney when our son was little. We actually belonged to the Disney Vacation Club because we were going there so frequently. And when you go to Disney, there's something called Disney Springs, if you're not familiar with it. It's one of the parks, but it's a park you don't have to pay to get into. And it's all kinds of restaurants and all kinds of shopping, and it's just wonderful. And my favorite restaurant is called Raglan Road. And I finally bought a sweatshirt that says Raglan Road, so that's why I got this on. I just love it. It's just fun. Fun, fun, fun. And it's green, which I don't normally like to wear because I think it makes my skin look green, but I love the sweatshirt. I love the food. And if you like gluten-free, they have gluten-free fish and chips, and as well as gluten-free onion rings, big onion rings, and they're amazing. So anyway, all right, I'm going off. We are going to get started because we have some crafting to do today. Make sure that at the bare minimum, you at least say hello or something out there in the comments, because it's the only way that we know you're here. And at the end, when we choose the winner, if we don't know you're here, we can't choose your name. So you want to make sure and get that out there. Linnea is going to be on to answer any questions and give you any links that you may be interested in. And if there's any questions that she can't answer, then Alan's going to be keeping an eye out for those, and he's going to pass those on to me. Is there questions or something here you want me to see, Alan?
Catherine's out there.
Oh, Catherine's out here. Hi, Catherine. Welcome. Catherine from SCT. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yay! Sweetheart. She's a true sweetheart. Oh, here's my son. Okay, we're going to get going. It is 4 minutes after, and I haven't even started to work yet or to craft yet. So we're going to go ahead. I lost my producer. Where's my producer? He can't switch the camera for me. Alan, I need you to switch the camera.
Okay.
Oh my God. Switch the camera. You're killing me. Killing me. Oh, thank you, Karen. She says you look great in green. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very sweet of you. I think it's just the bright lights. You can't see how green my skin looks. Okay, so tonight, like I said, I'm working with, we put a little kit out. So each week, what we're trying to do is about a week in advance, and we're going to try and do it even sooner, is put out a little bundle or a little class kit that is only going to be up there. It's going to be specially discounted on the website, and it's going to have the main items that I'm going to feature in the card that I'm going to make on whatever date we list there. Excuse me. So this time, I know this was a bigger kit. It was a more expensive kit, and we're trying to keep it to smaller kits, but I couldn't get around it since I'm using the alpha dies. So I've got the Jordan Alphas Jumbo Upper, the Jordan Alpha Jumbos lower, and then on the flip side here, I've got the Jordan numbers, which I'm going to apologize for those of you that bought the kit. I didn't actually end up using the numbers because here's the thing. I never know what I'm going to do when I figure out what I'm going to use. And so, when I sit down to create, it's a mojo thing. So if the mojo says numbers, I can work the numbers in. If the mojo doesn't say numbers, then I couldn't work and this time I just couldn't work the numbers in. I wasn't feeling it with the card that I was making. But anyway, I do want to show you this. So I've got these already. They're in our storage pockets. I've got, these are the large ones. And so I've got them on the Cling and Store insert. I've labeled it. And I put one of the magnet sheets on both sides so that this one alone is just the jumbo uppercases. These are 2-inch alphas. So these are great for card making. They're also fantastic for scrapbooking. And then with the lowers, the jumbo lowers, because some of them are smaller, it didn't take up as much space. It's not quite as big of a die set. So I was able to fit the number set on here too. So you can see I have it labeled for both. So anyway, so those are the feature. And then as I craft, I start pulling other things. So you know what? We should zoom in a little bit. I'm sorry, you may not even be able to see what I'm talking about. So here's what I've just showed you. And then as I start crafting, I pull in other things. So then I ended up pulling in the hand-tied bouquet, the stamps, and the dies. And you'll notice the dies, I trimmed just with my paper trimmer the magnet sheet because I only needed half of it. And I put the dies on the back there. And then I ended up pulling in also the Delicate Stitches scalloped rectangle. And I ended up using the largest outer die there. And then I decided to pull in the Favorite Things 6x6 papers. And because like I said, I never know what I'm going to craft with. So what we're going to cover tonight really is, I mean, this is something you could do with these products. This is something you could do with, always take a look at what you have in your stash too. So let me show you my little bag of tricks here that I started with. And I wanted to make a very clean and simple card. Didn't want it to have, a ton of stuff going on. And wanted it to be very bright and colorful, springy, summery. Let's move on through so I can show you what I've got. Let me move some things out of the way here so that you don't see everything because I don't want to spoil the whole thing. So to start off with, I've got an A2 card base. A2, if you're not familiar with it, is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This started out as an 8 1/2 by 11 sheet of cardstock. I cut it at 5 1/4, and then I scored it at, I cut it at 5 1/2, apologies. And then I scored it at 4 1/4 so that it is a top folding A2 card. I like it when my cards are top folding because that way if I want to stand them on a table, the mantle, or something like that, they stand really nice and straight. If I lay it on its side like this, it always looks a little bit funky when you're looking at it because you're looking at it from this angle and it's not as straight. So I like it when cards are top folding. So, okay. Then for a background, this is where I pulled in the gorgeous, gorgeous Favorite Things. I was thinking, what can I do? Uh-oh, something happened on my screen. Give me just a moment. Hold on. There we go. So I was thinking, what could I put in the background? I wanted to die cut my letters. And I thought it'd be really fun to die cut the letters with pattern paper because we oftentimes go to solid cardstock and layer those up. So I thought it would be really fun to do something in a pattern paper just to have a new fun technique that I haven't worked with in a while. So that was when I thought, I'm going to pull out our Favorite Things and see which of these patterns. You can see all the patterns on the front, and the one that I decided to go with was this little plaid here. I thought that was just like picnic check, like a picnic table or picnic tablecloth, I guess it would be, check. So that's what I went with, and that's just going to be my card topper. So I literally just took it and I cut it to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So that's going to be my card topper. And then the other thing I thought was that's a lot of checks. So that was when I grabbed I wanted to have a white in the background, and that was when I grabbed this Delicate Stitches, and I used the largest scallop die, and that's going to go right over it, so I get that really pretty check in the background. Now, if you want, little tip here, you can use, let's say, one of these smaller dies here to cut the center out of this check and then set that aside and use that on another card, because it's going to be smaller than this one, and that way you're going to cover up that hole, and then you can use that centerpiece on another card. So that's a little tip that you can do to make your paper go a little bit further. I'm not doing that tonight, but that is a really good way to do it and to use, you know, like I said, to make your paper go further. So this is where we are. This is what we've got. So I was thinking, what can I do? I've got this amount of space, and I want to do something that is just really sweet, really fun, that I could send maybe to, let's say, to your sweetheart, to your husband, to your wife. So I did some of the work in advance, and I'm going to show you. I pulled from the letters here. I thought I'm going to spell the word love. I'm going to keep it really simple. Capital L, so the uppercase L. I've already got this part. You can see how I cut it right out of here. But I do want to show you what I did, how I lined, if I could spell properly, my goodness gracious. Which way did the letters go? I do want to show you what I did with it, just to kind of give you my thinking on it. So here's my L. That's the uppercase. And I'm going to grab the O, V, and E. Oh, Alan's letting me know that Liz Vargas is here. Hi, Liz. Welcome back. We haven't seen you in a long time. I hope you are doing well. Very exciting. I love when we get to see you know, some friends of ours that, you know, everybody who comes weekly, but also people we haven't seen in a while. It's so nice, and Liz is a real sweetheart. So, hi, Liz. Okay, so let me show you what I did. So when you're working on a pattern paper, especially one that has lines and stripes like these, so when you look, I started thinking of the amount of space that we have between, you know, that's open here. That's where you're going to see the paper. So when I line this up, I could line it up so I just get that stripe right in, that dark stripe pretty much just in the L. But I decided to line it up and tape it down so that it was kind of offset a little bit like that. So I actually got multiple colors in it, and you can see over here where I have, it goes right down the center. Because I wanted to have as much color and texture as I could. And I did layer this right on a line, or actually I did it right above the line, so I went up a little bit like this. So then when I laid the O on, I went the same distance up so that when I line these up on my card, my stripes are going to line up. And so I did exactly the same thing. I moved this over just a little bit so I get both the light and the dark in there. And I'm going to move this in here too. It's really fun because you can see right through the dies. And so the biggest thing here is to make sure you have that same distance up from the line at the bottom. See that line that I'm talking about right there? So this is how I would lay them out, and that's exactly how I laid them out the first time. And so that gives me this look. When I lay these out like this, the stripes are continuous across. Okay, kind of like when you get a like when you know when you get a pattern shirt at you know at like a really inexpensive pattern shirt, a plaid or something like that, and then they don't line up at the seam. Yeah, it drives you nuts. And then you look at like some of the really expensive shirts, and they've taken that care to line up those seams and line up the paper. That's what I wanted, was I wanted to line, not paper, but line up the fabric. So this is where I wanted to line up the pattern so that when I placed it on the card, it was continuous. And it started at the bottom there. So that's my little tip there. All right, so aside from that though, I want to pump up the volume with these. So we're going to cut a couple more because I want to layer them up. I'm going to actually, nope, I have one there. So Alan's going to have to do, actually we don't have to tape this down, I don't think, because I don't need them in an exact spot. So Alan's going to do a little bit of die cutting for me. Now, if you guys don't have yourself an Alan, I recommend you find one.
Really? Are you
Yeah.
sure about that?
He's an odd bird, but a good bird to have around.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what book that's from?
That's good.
Yep.
That's a good question.
Yeah, he's an odd bird, but a good bird to have around.
Would you recommend renting instead of buying?
Renting, yeah, the great
Or
thing,
rent to own.
yes, if you rent an Alan, then you don't have to have him there all the time.
Exactly.
It's really kind of, up to you. It is kind of a, and maybe buying right away is not the way to go. Maybe it is a rent to own kind of a thing. We'll see. It's really up to you. So Alan's going to take that.
I know I would do that.
Oh, you're so funny. Okay, I have another scrap paper here because I want to build this up a couple of times. So we're going to do this a couple of times. So let me get my letters off of here. Oh, Liz says I have a Ralph. Very good. Hey, whatever it is you decide to name him, it's completely up to you.
Tell Kathleen Finnegan, yes, I'm available for rent.
Sandy says rent for a trial period to see if he's the one you really want.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
I agree. I think this little conversation has taken a turn. Oh, there you go. Oh, the tangled web we weave. Okay. And then here's my other set. Alrighty.
It's going to be a lot of gluing.
A lot of gluing?
Yeah.
Yes, Alan says this is, oh no! Who says that? Does anybody remember? No? Well, we'll see. Oh no! Anybody remember that?
Never knows that one.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, let me get my little bits and pieces out of here. All right. Mr. Bill. Yes, Cindy Patty got it. Mr. Bill. Okay. So here's all my little loves.
Somebody said Mrs. Doubtfire.
Ooh, yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire. That's actually really good.
Yeah.
I believe she did do that. Okay. So I'm just going to start layering these up. All right, and this is going to give me depth, and I had my glue going in the wrong direction. Okay, so I'm going to layer these up. This white paper that I used is, excuse me, it's my go-to, Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 110-pound cardstock, so it's thick. And I really like it when I have 2 layers of this with a piece of our paper. Our paper is 80-pound. So that gives a nice, thick, kind of bumped up letter. Look how thick that is. It's really nice. That's going to give us dimension. And it's a lot easier to do this than it is to sit and cut little pieces of foam for these letters. This is, believe it or not, a lot faster than dealing with all the foam. I like the foam when it's like bigger strips, but not necessarily little pieces where you got to layer all this all over the place. And this is also going to travel nicely, in an envelope to somebody when they apply pressure to it, like at the mail, at USPS or something. It's going to hold up because it's got structure all the way across the entire letter. It's also really nice too. I mean, there's really a lot of benefits, apparently, I'm thinking in my head. But it's also really nice that when you look at it, the card from the side, you're not seeing all that foam on these little pieces. Instead, you're seeing that solid piece of white. So they almost look more like chipboard. Now, I do recommend using a liquid adhesive when you do this because it gives you that little bit of, time that you need to line everything up just right. Yeah, Anne says, loving the big letters. I do too. I really do. We were very careful with the size of our alphas. Depending on which one you get, well, the stamps are different sizes. Some of the stamps are a little bit smaller. They're all listed on the website, but we do have 2-inch for the tallest alphas, be it lowercase or uppercase, 2 inches, which is great for card making, and it's also fantastic for, for journals, for scrapbooking. It's a really great size without being too big. So there you go. There is love. Isn't that cute? Okay, next up, we've got, where is it? Okay. You know what, Alan? I need, do I have a piece of cardstock here? No, I have some. Very good. I think this is the right, yes, that's my cardstock. Okay, so sorry about that. I'm going to go ahead and put my letters away because I don't want to lose them. These go away so easily. They store perfectly in their little pouches, little pockets. There we go. And where's my uppercase for the L? Right there, right on the magnet. Easy does it. Easy peasy. And slide that in there. Now I know I'm not going to lose those. Okay. Next up, we're going to work with the hand-tied stamps and dies, and I want this stamp right here. These are little bouquets. So there's 4 different bouquets in this set, and then we've also got 4 sentiments in here. So this time when I work with these, now I've got another video where I did a different card, different technique with them, if you wanted to check that out as well on YouTube there or on the Facebook page, but it's easier to find probably on YouTube. But this one I'm actually going to stamp this little flower. I'm going to stamp it in my Raven. Now this is a hybrid ink, so it's a combination of properties, combination dye and pigment ink. So I do like to kind of twist and turn as I ink, just to make sure I get it from all different angles. Use my Stampendable to get a nice crisp stamp. Oh, thank you, Sherry. She said she loved the other card that I made with the hand-tied. Thank you. Alrighty, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up with my Extreme Clean. Now, remember I said our inks they're hybrid, so they have a little bit of a permanent quality to them, so they're going to leave a little bit of a stain behind, and that's fine. I actually like it because then I can see the image. But this is going to mean that, it's got a little bit longer drying time, but it's going to mean that I can watercolor. I can use Copic markers, alcohol markers. I can use pencils. I can stamp on glossy surfaces, on wood, on fabrics, and so on and so forth. It's really a go-to ink. I can even use embossing powders with the hybrid inks. So that's why our inks are hybrid inks. So let's see. I am going to go ahead and color this up, though, with Copic markers. So I have my little, whole bunch of them here. Now, just to kind of show you, I know Alan's thinking, wow, it's a lot, but it's really not. Here's where I started. I started with this paper. So this is a color selection, lesson, if you will. I started with this paper, And R32, so it's red 3-2, is a beautiful match. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful match with this paper. So my R32 was a really good place to start. And then I just went, you know, one or a couple of numbers on either side. So then I have R30 and R35, all right, on either side. So a light, medium, and a dark. That's how I chose those. I wanted a couple of yellows because I'm dealing with flowers and it's always good to have a bright yellow in there. So I went with a really beautiful bright, almost canary yellow, which is Y02, one of my favorites. And then Y15 or 15, which has more of a golden color to it. Those are really, I think they're a beautiful match to have kind of a light and a medium. Next, I was looking for a blue, just to have, I want to have a couple other colors in here, right? So I went with the blue. And the first one that I pulled was BG01. It's really a beautiful, bright blue, and I thought it looked really springy and summery with the paper, so really beautiful and bright. It actually looks really, really nice with the actual paper pack. And this is another good way to choose your other colors. If you don't know what color goes with this, look at what we've got in our paper collection, because we're showing you already which colors look beautiful together. We've really done a lot of the work for you. And if you look at this blue, it's very much like the lighter blue that's in the background here. So I then went a couple colors darker. So BG 02 and 05. And then as I was coloring, because I always do a test one to see if I like my colors together, I ended up pulling in my quadruple 0, which is super, super light, and I like to use those for blending. So if you don't have the quadruple zeros, I do recommend that you get those. Those are really nice. Now for greens, I literally just wanted some beautiful bright greens. One of my favorites is a G14. It's just a gorgeous grassy green. I wanted something that was going to be darker than that, so I went with a YG09. You know, look to the colors that you have. And then I wanted something that was a little more limey, and so I chose a yellow green, and this one happens to be yellow green, or YG06. And again, we've got that in here as well. So all of the colors I've chosen are actually in the papers. So I am going to get started with this. And I'm just gonna kind of dive in, and I have these little berries here. They look like little berries. So I just thought that it would be kind of fun. Actually, I'm gonna start with the darker red. I'm sorry, I usually start light to dark, but I'm gonna start with the darker red on the berries and just give them, are we close up? Yeah. Just give them a dot on each one of these. This red is gonna move on this paper. This is the Neenah Classic Crest Solar White. It's excellent for Copic coloring. So this red is going to move. It's going to blend as I start using it, as I start combining my next color where I'm going to blend this in. So now I have the R32, so I went to the light one, and I'm just going to kind of go over that and push that color over a bit. And now you can see that it adds some depth. It's literally just with the tip, and I'm just brushing it all in the same direction. Just moving it over, and it's okay if you leave a little bit of white space in there. That'll give it kind of a little bit of a shine or glow. That's all there is to it. Berries, done. Check.
Berry done.
What?
Berry done.
It's all berry done. Yep, berry done. Okay, so next I'm going to define where actually I'm going to go to my flowers. So I'm going to get my blues, and I'm going to do a few of the flowers in here, little clusters. So BG01. Actually, no, I'm not going to start with that. I'm going to start in the center. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm going to start in the centers because I want yellow. So Y02. And I'm just going to put a little bit of this yellow in the center of each of these big flowers. So you can kind of see where we've given a little bit of texture in the middle of each of those larger flowers. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those bigger flowers. That's all I need with that yellow. And now I'm going to grab my BG01 and I'm just going to add a little bit of color from the center out on some of these flowers. I'm not covering that yellow and I'm not going all the way to the ends because I want to leave a little bit of white at the ends there. I think it looks really pretty and makes it kind of bright, like the color, like it's, I don't know, like a multicolored petal.
Did you mention that you start with light to dark?
Oh, and I am starting with light to dark here. Thank you, Alan.
I didn't know if I just ignored you or what.
No, I usually start with light to dark. I don't always, but I usually do. So, nope, I didn't miss one. I'm only going to do 3 of them in blue. So that is the BG02. Now I'm going to go up to sorry, that was BG01. Now I'm going up to BG02. And I'm just going to add a teeny little bit in here. Less than what I did with 01. Right in that center there. Not going over the yellow. Okay. And then I'm going to go all the way up to BG05 and just tap a tiny little bit just with the tip of that marker right where I want that darkest color to be. And that's going to really make it look like the flower goes really deep in the center because it gets darker. It creates a shadow as it gets deeper into that center. Okay.
Can you hold it up for a second? Linda's asking if you can enlarge the flower. I don't know if you can lift it up higher so that it's bigger. Yeah.
There you go. That's what we've got so far. Okay. Now, this is where I wanted to blend it out just a tiny little bit. So now I'm taking BG000. There's almost no color to this. And I'm literally just very gently moving that color a little bit out and just softening that edge just with the tip of my marker. I'm not going all the way out to the tip of the petal though, because I want to leave that white. And I'm only brushing out toward, like from the center out, because I don't want to push that color in the wrong direction. Okay. And so that's what we end up with. Uh-oh, what happened?
Okay. Not focus. Did it stop focusing?
Yeah, it stops auto-focusing. What's it doing?
Oh,
It's not focusing. I don't know. It must be focusing on something else. Okay. Then I wanted to do the other two. So the only pink and red that I had were on those little berries. So I thought that it would be pretty to have the other two flowers have that red and pink kind of a look. So we've got this one over here and then over here. So this is R30. And then R32, just a little bit from the center out. Just with the very tip of my marker. All right. And then again up to R35 very sparingly, just right in that little center there. Literally just barely touching down with that marker. And then I'm going to do a little bit of a blend out, R30, just very gently without going all the way to the edges. Okay? Just gives a tiny little bit of color. Is it doing it?
I think you gotta lift it up, move it up a little bit.
Up here?
Yeah. Try that, lift it.
It's not working.
You're missing the autofocus somehow,
I don't know where the autofocus is. Well, I could play with this for forever, but I don't know what happened. It's not working. All right, I'm so sorry, but I'm not going to make everybody sick doing that.
At least it froze where it's good.
What?
At least it froze
Yeah.
where it works.
Okay, so next thing I need to do is get a little bit of green in here. So I'm going to start with my lightest, brightest green, which is Y06. And we've got a lot of little leafy things here. And little stems. A lot of them. And I'm literally just going to add color to them all. Oops, I missed a little bit of pink on this one here, a little berry. Let's see, a little stem here, a little bit of green. Now don't let this be intimidating. This is actually quite easy to do because there isn't a whole lot of space to lay down a lot of color. So I'm just kind of going in where there's empty space right now and coloring it green. There we go. With my light green, I'm going to put some right in the middle here. There's a little space here. Just kind of imagining that there's leaves back in there. Now you will have a picture on the back of your packaging that will show you, an option for coloring these up. They'll all be colored up is what I'm saying. So I'm just going to fill these in, and then I'm going to give these little stems a little bit of green. There we go. And then my next green, I'm going to go up one color to G14, because right now the green looks a little flat. So I'm going to come in here a little bit darker, and I'm not going to go all the way to the end with this, to the ends of each of the stems, because I want to have that, multiple color. So I like it to be brighter at the ends, like at the tip of each of the leaves, and darker where it's closer to the flower. All right. And here. And you just kind of keep going around. And these are where it's really going to show, because these are bigger leaves. So pull the color from the flower out. There you go. And then I am going to do one color deeper, and that is YG09. And I'm going to use that sparingly. There we go, right up on those stems. Right at the bottom of each of those flowers. Just a little bit. I'm going to color this little area in where it's like right close to the flowers.
Oh, that makes the flower pop out.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You could even go a little bit darker if you wanted, but I wanted to keep it really bright. There you go. And then right here, color that in darker. All right. Now, I do want to add a little more yellow. And actually, I'm going to use this more golden yellow here. I'm going to put a tiny bit of that right in the center of each of those yellows, just to make them a little bit darker in the middle. And then I'm going to dot yellow on each of these little bud-like things, just to get some bud-like things. You goofball.
Get the hearing aids out.
There you go. And that just gives me a little more yellow, which kind of makes things pop a little bit more. Okay? That one. And that is it. You like it?
That's great.
I think it's pretty. Okay, so I'm going to put those markers aside. And now we need to do a little bit of die cutting. This is the die right here. I need tape. Look at that. Look at my Alan got my tape ready for me. He's a well-trained Alan.
He's an animal?
He's a well-trained Alan.
Okay. And an animal.
And I would say be careful with the training. You don't want to have to give a treat every time he gets something right.
Don't overdo it.
Yes, yes.
I got something right?
Okay, here we go.
Somebody said they got their
What?
ink pads, and I said,
Oh, cool.
Did I get an order right for a change?
Nice, funny. Okay, so we're gonna get this die cut. I always put the blade side down when we're die cutting because I want to save my plates. If you have your blade side up, it's going to warp your plates more. So the only time I have the blade side up is when I'm doing cutting a really intricate die, because you'll get a better cut with an intricate die if your die blade is facing up. So let's get this off of here. Keep that. Peel up gently. There we go. Look how pretty. So pretty. Pretty, pretty. My pretty. Sorry. Okay. What is that from? My pretty. It's better than my precious. Very different things. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and start assembly now. We're going to see how this goes. I'm going to lay things out here. I have a feeling I do have one more thing I need to stamp. So you know what? I'm going to lay this out in my stamping platform because I do have something that I want to stamp. I'm not going to use my card base. I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to move this too because I want this to go right in the corner. There we go. And so here's my thinking. See how this is going to work. I may need to move it over this way because I want that to go off a little bit. L, O, B, E. This is going to have to go up on foam because I want it to kind of cover over that L just a little bit. So that's kind of where I'm headed with it. It looks like it's on a slope. I have to line those up with my ruler when I get to it. Okay, but right now, I want one of these sentiments, and I want the one that says, "A love story like no other." I love that sentiment. I think it's so beautiful. Just make sure. I think that looks good and straight right there. This is going to be a very different card for me because it's not going to be really symmetrical. So first time I'm stamping with this stamp, so I'm going to clean it with my thumb. All right, get any excess, manufacturing stuffs off of it. I'm going to ink this up with my Raven. I am making a mess. Let's try that again. Okay. Gosh, I hope that's straight. I can't put my head over it because you guys don't want to see my big head in the camera. A love story like no other. It's gorgeous. Look at that font. Isn't that so, so pretty? So delicate. I love it. Let's get this cleaned. I always like to clean my stamps as I go. I don't like when the ink dries on them. For two reasons, really. Some inks will reactivate when you put ink on there, and I don't want it to reactivate black if I go to use a different color, because the hybrid inks will reactivate. And to a degree. But I also, I don't want it to coat my stamps. I like to keep them clean. Okay, so that is our stamping. All right, I am going to use some foam. Uh-oh, Skiddy-o, where's my foam?
I don't know.
Where's my foam roll?
I swear I saw it right here.
Might be in that drawer over there. This is what happens. Like I said, we're still redoing the studio, so I keep... The last thing we're waiting on right now in the studio, if anybody is wondering, if anybody really cares, last thing we're waiting on is counters. Once the countertop arrives, we will be good to go. I think I'm going to do 2 layers of this. I really love this scotch, if you guys can find it. I love the scotch. This is the 3/4 inch width, but it's only about a 1/16 of an inch thick, so it really allows me to control the depth. And this stuff is so, so nice. It's not going to dry out over time and drop off or anything. It's really, really nice. All right, so I think this is going to work really beautifully. All right, so let's see. Let me get some more foam out here because I do want to pop this up on foam, but here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm going to actually lay it on the diagonal like that.
Corey asked how you could possibly lose that roll of foam.
It was in a drawer.
With no handle.
Yeah, it was in a drawer with no handle. We don't have any handles on the drawers yet.
Sharon Gullick was asking why did you get a new studio? And I've been asking that question myself.
We redid the studio because the studio was performing more like a craft room, which I don't have a problem with as a craft room. But once we started doing all the videos and everything, and everything changed with COVID, right? So we started doing a lot more stuff live. We started doing these lives. We started doing HSN from here for quite a while. It just didn't function well as a production studio. And so it was really, we were tripping over things really bad with all the cameras and all the lights, and there wasn't a production area. Alan needs an area for all of the equipment. You really have no idea how much equipment there is to do all of this stuff. So you will, though, because once it's all done, we're actually going to do a tour to show you everything, what it's like behind the scenes. And we're going to show you also how I get things organized once I finally have time to do that. I'm a little off center, but you know what? That's a nice thing about having it on the angle. What?
That's actually kind of cool.
Well, thank you. Thank you. My husband is surprised that I did something cool.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yes, I did on purpose. Goof. It's funny. It's almost like it's like an insult wrapped in a compliment when you go, "Ooh, wow, that's actually cool." And I go, "Well, thank you, but I've done more than one cool thing before. Don't sound so surprised."
Well, I didn't know if you were spinning out there.
No.
You were dizzy and that was great.
He thought I'm hypoglycemic. He was probably worried I was going to fall off my chair because I did it on an angle. That's funny. Okay. I just thought that it would be kind of whimsical, kind of fun. And then I do want to have, hold on, because I want the love to be straight with the sentiment. So let's see. I should have laid this out with my ruler first. That would have been a good thing to do. You know what, I'm going to do that anyway. Now, the ruler is not going to function like I really need it to, only because I've already got all my foam and everything under here. So, let's see. Hold on a minute. Let me see. Sorry, bear with me here. I'm going to make this like maybe, is that straight? I think that looks straight. Okay, I think that looks straight. So if I want this here, and that's going to go over the L just a little bit. O. V. E. That looks so cute, but the E looks a little low, so straighten everything out. Gosh, I wish I could get my head in the camera. Okay, now I'm going to adhere these one at a time. I'll try and be very careful. L. I love doing this with the ruler because I can lean it right up against that ruler. The only thing I will tell you is because I've already done all my foam with the card and everything, like this would have been a good thing to do beforehand because then my magnets would be touching my glass. The board that I have here is fully magnetic. This is our Luxe magnetic glass craft mat. So it is a full sheet of iron behind it, so it's a complete magnetic surface. And the ruler that comes with it that I'm using has magnets, and if I didn't already bump up my entire card on all the foam, the magnets would be hitting the glass and they would actually be doing their job. But I did not plan well. There we go. But those are in place now. Look how pretty. Got that little love story right there. And then this is going to come in here. I probably would have liked that a little bit lower, but I think it's going to work. And then I'm going to put this here. Just like so. And just kind of cover up some of that L. I like that the whole thing is on an angle. It's just different. I think it's kind of fun. Now, this is one of those things where if I were redoing it, I would probably lower my letters down a little bit. But I've already got them adhered. Oh, maybe they'll let me move them. Nope, that one's not going anywhere. The only one that'll go is the E, and I don't want to do it. But I would probably do it a little bit lower, but I think the card is just adorable. I think it came out really cute. I love that the letters match the background. I think that's really, really cute. It's just very whimsical. It's a very cute and sweet card. If you want to do, you know, any little sparkly things on there, you could add that to it and just kind of, you know, just like little enamel dots or something. You could have fun with that. That could be really pretty. But I think that's really cute. I think it's just really sweet. Do you like it, Alan?
Yep.
A love story like no other. Yay. I think it's really pretty. Alrighty, so let me think. What are we gonna do? Okay, I know what we're gonna do. You wanna switch the camera?
Sure.
Alrighty. Hi. Okay, boy, oh boy. Let me see if I can lift it up. Everything should be dry. I think it came out really, really cute. So pretty. Yay. I like it a lot. So have fun with your alphas. I mean, they're just really, really sweet. And that really is a simple card. This, I think, is something that you could actually reproduce pretty quickly, like over and over. If you wanted to mass produce, or if you wanted to change that word, maybe you don't want it to say love. Maybe you want to put, you know, miss you, or friend, or, you know, I hurt you, or something. I mean, there's a lot of different things you could put on there. Hello would be something you could put on there. Just really, really fun. Really, really cute. So I hope you like it. Yay. Okay, we are going to have a giveaway. So hopefully everybody has left a comment out there so that Mr. Hunt can choose your name. The giveaway, I thought, we haven't done a paper giveaway in a long time, and since we just played with the favorite things on this card, I thought we would do a favorite things 6x6 paper pack giveaway, because we haven't done a paper giveaway in a long time. So this is going to be your chance to get one of the best paper packs we've ever done. I love these. Look at how bright and gorgeous those colors are. Yay, love them. All right, Mr. Hunt, I need a name from you.
Okay. It was...
What?
I lost the name.
Well,
It's scrolled.
you lost the name? It scrolled?
Yes, give me a second.
Okay.
Sorry.
Stand by. We'll be with you in a moment. Technical difficulties. See, this is what happens when your Alan gets tired. This is what happens when my Alan gets tired. You know, you could choose a different name.
Mary Hansen.
Mary Hansen, you are tonight's winner. Yay!
Mary, M-A-R-I.
What?
M-A-R-I.
M-A-R-I, Mary or Murray Hansen. You have won the Favorite Things 6x6 paper pack. Congratulations. Mary, I'm not sure. I hope I'm not getting it wrong. But anyway, please send us your complete name and mailing address to customer service at ldrscreative.com, and we will get your 6x6 Favorite Things paper pack out to you so you can start creating with it ASAP. Alrighty, so everybody, need to let you know, I mean, I know we just got back a couple of weeks ago, but we do have, remember when I told you early on in the summer, we had a few trips and family things that were planned. So we do have another trip planned. We're going to be leaving, and we're actually going, can I tell them?
You can tell them anything you want.
We're actually going to Italy for 2 weeks. Ah! When our son graduated from high school last year, we actually said to him, you know, where would you like to go? Italy was top of his list. And Alan and I were actually married in Italy 23 years ago, believe it or not, in Milan. And so we're going back to Italy. So we will not be here next Thursday or the following Thursday. We will be back on the 7th, I think it is. I think it's the 7th. So we're skipping two weeks, and then we'll be back after that on the 7th. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter so you get our announcement, and please subscribe to YouTube. That way you're going to get a notification when we have, you know, when we schedule one of our videos, when we go live and things like that, we'd love if you would please give us, a click on the thumbs up. That always helps us out too. But yeah, go to our website if you haven't already done so and subscribe there for our newsletter. That's going to give you discounts and our blog posts that go out with all kinds of tutorials in there. And every time we've got a video that comes out, we've got a lot of educational things that we put out on a weekly basis, and we don't want you to miss any of that, as well as big specials that we do. Those of you that subscribe, we just did a huge mega sale. That was absolutely fantastic, and I know a lot of you took advantage of that, so thank you so much. This is the end for us tonight. So thank you so much again for being here. We love doing this with you guys. We're going to miss you over the next couple of weeks. We may not, what is it I'm trying to say? Well, anyway, we're going to miss you. We may not be thinking of you the whole time we're gone.
I thought you were trying to say we may not miss you.
Oh, no, we'll definitely miss you. Our minds will be elsewhere, but once we get back, we will be very excited to come back here with you guys and see how you guys are doing and share some more crafty goodies with you. If you look on my Facebook, you might even see some pictures from our trip periodically. We'll see. Anyway, have a great night. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you back here on the 7th of September already, 7 p.m. Bye for now. Thanks, everybody.